All right. I am I am getting my act together and I don't know, maybe taking it on the road. I don't know. Would you want to see me on the road? I do love me some travel. Hey, that's what happens when you end up using your cell phone. Whoa, your cell phone screen as a mirror, right? Am I right? Hello. I almost said good morning, and this may be morning to some. Excuse me. I just wolfed down some leftover Chinese. I know so many irrelevant personal details. But yeah, just got some stuff, helping my mother with some paperwork, getting my act together. Hello. Yeah, as I said, it seems like it's morning for some people, but for me, it just turned 1 minute after noon o'clock here. There we go on the Eastern Seaboard, of which I am a fan. Hey, so I am Beth, Destination Decluttered. I'm feeling a little cluttered in the brain at the moment, but each thing I'm moving just reduces that brain clutter and makes me feel so good. And I'm here for you. All right, Kat and Jen and Kate, and no, not doing that, and all sorts of people. Yeah, I was off for the weekend. I hope you were too. Chilia and Rhonda Butler to the. Oh, I went to high school. I went to college with a girl named Rhonda. College. Yeah, Rhonda Butler to the wait lobby. They used to call up if you had. Anyhow, I digress. Measured macros. Hey, Fort Myers, Florida. I'm just outside of Philadelphia, PA. So technically I'm not on the eastern seaboard, but I just kind of look over Jersey and I can see the ocean from here, so close enough. I'm originally from Massachusetts, so I really love the ocean. Kentucky, nice to see you. Great weather in Indiana today. Katie, that's great. That's good to know. It's been kind of rainy here, but you know what? That's cool. I'm rolling with it. The rain yesterday made me allowed to fart around at all sorts of Ohio, Virginia. I love it. I don't know that whole. I am the elder Gen X in that I don't know that song with all the state names on it. But if I did, I'd probably start singing it. So isn't it good that I don't know that song? Florida. Chilia is visiting Kansas this week. There you go. Kansas gets bonanzas from the rain. I believe Blossom Deary told me that one in You Come From Rhode Island, and little old Rhode Island works for you. Songbird joined. Kat Roby joined. Houdinkus. I'm totally mangling people's names today. But anyhow, hello. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to Monday, September 18th. September, I don't know about you, September is flying by. So let's make the most of it, and let's make the most of our time together from now until 1 o'clock Eastern. So I am here today, and I love me some chit chat. Don't get me wrong. However, there we go. Jen is saying Southern California, finally cooler the past couple of days. We can chat about the weather. But how about this? How about we talk about and takes and resolve and remove the roadblocks. See what I did there? I am a road tripping Emmer effer, Mother Falcon. And I put everything on the road trip and I say, all right, where do you want to go? Clutter wise, otherwise. Here you are today. What's keeping you stuck? What is like a little kind of I always picture those like little sawhorses. What's the roadblock? It's a sawhorse in front of your car that you're not moving forward. Got to get out, take a look at it, figure out what it is, move it to the side so you can move forward. Hey, none of your business says I got rid of 2/3 of my spices this weekend. Awesome. I hope that feels good that you did it. I hope that feels good when you did it, because the good feeling is, as Lucille says, is motivating. Feeling good is why we do these things. We don't want to do things that aren't going to feel good. Am I right, people? I know I'm right. I don't want to do things that don't feel good. It's when you know you're an adult. You do things you know you don't want, that aren't gonna feel good, but are gonna be good for you. Was hard. Notice that, but felt so good. See? Yeah. Here's the fun thing is taking action, doing something, not just thinking about it. Trust me, I love to think like nobody's business, but the thinking into action is where it's at, and especially where your actions are aligned with where you want to go. Your destination decluttered. There we go. All right, Chilia, and trying to go through my deceased husband stuff, so I am stuck. Just notice that, and first of all, my heart goes out to you. That sucks that your husband passed, and it's kind of, I know it can be difficult to go through his stuff. One thing I want to offer to help you with, and if we haven't met before, I apologize. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm talking like we've met, and it would be rude if I didn't. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, Destination Decluttered. I'm here for the next hour or so to help you with your clutter, help you get unstuck and moving in the right direction. And what the direction is all dependent upon you. I call that your destination decluttered. What do you want your home to look and feel and function like? So I am a one-on-one life coach, yada, yada. Enough about me, but I want to get back to Chilia. And I want to just mention to you and to other people that think about your clutter. Think about the stuff in your life in 3 categories. You've got surface clutter, you've got stored clutter, and you've got sentimental clutter. 3 levels of clutter. The easy to the not so easy to the least easy. Chief Half Moon, least easy. And what I want to suggest is the stuff, the sentimental stuff is the stuff that is going to be the least easy. It is going to be the stuff that evokes emotion, that is going to tell a story. And those are the things that tend to trip us up. So if you're, depending upon where you are in your healing journey, Chilia, of when your husband passed, I will offer with love and compassion, and is give yourself some grace. It's going to be much easier for you to remove his items from your life when you are further along, wherever your journey is, and healing from that trauma of him dying. So be kind to yourself. Do a little bit at a time if you can, but if you can't do anything, please just be kind to yourself. It's just stuff. Don't drive forward at any pace that feels different from what you feel like you want to do, and honor that. Okay? And start with his stuff. Start with the surface stuff, then his surface stuff, his stored stuff, his sentimental stuff. What are the things that have no meaning to you? Like honestly, if my husband passed away, I could probably get rid of some of his pants pretty easily, like some of his clothes that had no memories to them, versus things that meant a lot to me. Go at the pace that feels right to you, and remember why you're doing it, because you want to feel good, you want to feel more space, all those kinds of things. So my heart goes out to you, but just notice that. None of your business is saying, I also fought to recycle the glass jars, but they are now gone. Love it. Love that things are gone, and love it that you are trying to put things in the right direction. Kat is saying, feel great in the rest of the house. In office, stuck with father-in-law's will, and he is declining in the hospital. Yes, okay. So just notice something, everybody. This is why I show up on the regularly, not on the rag. That was in the past. Now I show up regularly for you, because what I would love for you to think about is, notice right here, even in this wonderful group of people that have just assembled within not even the last 10 minutes, we've got somebody dealing with their spouse passing away. Somebody else is struggling with a father-in-law who's declining in the hospital. I show up because I would love it if you started dealing with your stuff now, before any of these dramatic events happen. Because when the drama is absent, you are able to make more easy choices and more powerful choices that align with what you want. But when you are in an emotional state, if he's declining quickly and struggling with things, it can just feel very cluttered and cloudy up here, and you may be second guessing yourself because your brain is swirling around with emotion. When you allow yourself the chance to think about these things with without, not like any emotion, it's not like you're a robot or anything, but with the right emotions, about saying, what feels right to me? What do I want to do? That is going to help you. And it's also going to help you when you're in these situations that you're in now. Do the best you can, Kat, with that thing at hand. You can always deal with stuff later. life is always going to come up. But what I say is if you make a plan now for your stuff, even your stuff, like, so for example, I just said randomly because somebody mentioned, Chelia mentioned that her husband had passed away. I said to myself, oh yeah, if my husband passed away, what's something I could easily get rid of? And it would be like, I don't know, I'm thinking like shorts and pants. So I kind of already made like a little plan, like, okay, those are the things I could probably deal with. Okay, there we go. All right. Nyla is making progress. Callie Rose, good morning. Do it when your mind and body is ready. 9-year grief journey, says Tammy Stevenson. Notice this is so cool. Every time I do a TikTok live, people come together, and even if we are struggling with something, we have something we can help somebody else with. Okay, we are not alone. I was talking about this to my husband earlier in the kitchen about how we are social creatures, that we need to have help with other people. Our really basic fear, and not to jump into the deep end of the pool too quickly, but just think about this. The basic fear we all have is the fear of being abandoned, unloved and abandoned. And because we are a communal, like societal pack animal. We do better when we're around people and we're not feral. Okay. I don't know why that came up for me. I just thought I'd offer it. This is what goes on in my head. And hopefully what I have in my head is going to help you in your life. Okay. So what else do we have here? All right. Actually, one thing I will mention, it's 12:12 right now, and today's Monday. On Wednesday, I hope all of you are on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. If you aren't, destinationdecluttered.com/join. And I mentioned that specifically because, and I'm looking at my Breeze Blocked week this week, is this Wednesday night is when we do our monthly members only free Zoom call. There's a Zoom call. If you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, you get invited to it automatically. You should have already received your Zoom call, your Zoom invite from me in the mail. I will also offer this. There's a handful of people in here. If you have, I'll say this, if you believe you signed up for the email mailing list and you never got your welcome email or things like that, let me know. Follow my page here, excuse me, and I believe that will allow you to send me a message through TikTok. And let me know what your email address is that you signed up for. I will be able to look at my email provider and see why you maybe have not received those emails, okay? It's happened a couple of times. Things get, caught in a lobster trap, right? And they get stuck. They're not even go through. Just notice that. The email mailing list, I don't want to go too far into it, but that's really honestly where a lot of the good stuff happens. And that's where if you want one-on-one coaching, if you want to do a, what do you call it? Like I do some workshops. I'm thinking of doing one in about a week or so about breeze blocking, which is my way of helping you make time in your life for what you want to do. I'm thinking of doing that. Everybody on the email mailing list gets the first dibs. So destinationdecluttered.com/join should be the easy peasy way for you to do that. Okay. Now here we are. What do we got? Okay, Z is saying, I don't even know where to start. I have so many clothes and my kids are getting older. You gave me a couple of ideas. So first of all, KZ, I want you to know that you have just done the most common, and I say this in a good way, you are not alone in thinking and feeling like you don't know where to start. It comes from a sense of overwhelm and helplessness. Notice that you say, I have so many clothes, those kind of declarative, dramatic languages. I'm not saying it's not true, but so many is kind of debatable. But I will just offer that when you get that feeling of overwhelm, every time I say overwhelm, I feel like I want to go this. It's like over me. It's like over my head. I used to have a globe that I used to show, but it deflated. But you get the whole world over your head. Notice that when I have so many clothes and my kids are getting older. How about this? Notice the 3 layers of clutter I mentioned. Surface, stored, sentimental. Those are categories. You also mentioned a category of clothing that you may not even realize that you could start to think about is my kids are getting older. This is the interesting thing about decluttering and helping your kids declutter is when they are aging, their body changes. Well, I mean, ours do kind of, but if we pretty much maintain the same height or we shrink. Or we maintain this, roughly the same weight. But when you're a child, as a mom, when they are growing out of their clothing. So how about this? Why not start with some of the clothes that do not fit your children anymore? That is an easy, low hanging fruit type of way to get yourself started. But the other thing that's even more sustainable, maintainable, I love to rhyme. I love, what do you call that? When you have an alliteration, I love it when things go like that, is even when you don't quite know where to start, how about why I'm starting? How about why am I starting? That's even more important. That's going to get your engine revving a bit. And then your brain will look around and say, I can do that. I can do this. Your why of starting is your destination. Why are you doing it? And instead of saying, oh, I want my house to look good for other people, what do you want your home to look like for you? Boop, for you. What do you want to feel like when you walk into your home and you walk into every single room? How do you want to feel when you walk in your rooms? How do you want your home to function? Write those things down. Create your destination. It is like a road trip. I always come back, if you guys have been tuning in for a while, I happily always come back to the basics. I don't want to invent new things. Going back to realizing that it's only a few tools you use over and over again. Think about your kitchen drawers. You probably use like a serving spoon and a spatula so much more than some random one-off thing. I always like to go back to the basics. With my road trip, it's like you always use a screwdriver and a hammer, maybe some pliers. There's a handful of tools you use over and over again. And with your decluttering and also other areas of your life. I say this because I am a certified life coach, and so I interweave. I'm not just a decluttering coach. That would have me bored out of my gourd, as my mother would say. But what I love is realizing the dance, the interplay, the fun, the difference it makes when you take your life thoughts and feelings and actions and you interplay that with why you're cluttered. Because when you change your mind, you change your life. That, to me, now that gets me excited. That's what gets me showing up to these TikTok lives and one-on-one coaching and all the stuff I do. So just notice that one of the things I will always go back to, and you can do this at a daily basis, is saying, why am I doing this? And not in a judgy way, like, why am I even doing this? Say, why am I doing this? I'll tell you why I'm doing this, because I want my home to look like this. I want to feel good when I'm in my home. I want to feel relaxed. I want to feel in control. I want to feel, here's one of talking about how it functions and everything. I want to feel like I'm not the only person who's always working on the home, making the home look and feel and function well. I want to have help here. So just notice when you define what your destination is, it's going to be easier to get there. Okay? Ooh, a whole bunch of things. Ooh, there we go. Tammy Stevenson says, yes, so true, exclamation point. I want to feel like I do in an Airbnb. That sounds cool. What does that feel like to you? Everything you need and a few things to enjoy. Oh, write that down, Tammy. That is good stuff right there. You can walk around your house to say, how can I make this feel more like an Airbnb? I love that feeling of going to some cool hotel and it's just all like it's comfortable and clean and quiet and peaceful. And frankly, you don't have that feeling of I should be doing this, I should be doing this. Like when you're on a hotel, kind of like nice, relaxed thing. There we go. All right, parody. My nightstand is the worst. It's a catch-all. All right, get curious. I show up in curiosity and love because that just makes things so. What's it catching? What's the all that it's catching? What are those things? Ask yourself why they're there. Is there a better place for them? Do you use them all the time? I have a thing on the side of the bed, and I literally will have like a chapstick. It's got a little lamp, a chapstick, like a eye thing, and maybe a book, and where to get my phone charger. That's about it. Everything else I don't need there. So that's me. That may be not you. Get curious about what's in your nightstand and what's being caught, and does it really need to be there? These are the wonderful things. Get to know yourself. Ask yourself some questions with love and curiosity and compassion as opposed to judgment, and listen for the answers. And then depending upon the answer, say, is that going to help me get to my destination or not? There we go. There we go. Tammy says it has taken me decades to get here. Glad I'm finally on it. Lady, you and me both. And I will say this. I love it when I hear that people have been decluttered all their lives. They don't even know what it's like to be us, to be cluttered, to collect things, to feel sentimental about stuff. That's them. That's okay. What I choose to tell myself, and notice that I choose to believe that's a really good one. Here, I'm going to give that to you. I choose to believe that dot dot dot. I choose to believe that you and I and all of us are learning about decluttering and what's important in our lives at the exact right time. At the exact right time for us, because we know what it feels like to be cluttered. So if you've never been cluttered, you don't know the relief and the breathing space and the calmness that's on the other side of the clutter. You don't appreciate it as much. If you've never been cold, you never appreciate your heat as much. If you've never been hungry, you never appreciate your food so much. So just notice that, choose to believe that you are doing this at the exact right time in your life. That's what I do with my coaching, with my everything. And it's a game changer. Okay? Think about that. Okay, what else do we have here? I have such a hard time, says Mallogram. What's wrong with me? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with you. How do you feel? Here's the thing. I will use Mallogram. I just boop, 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 boop. I just kind of randomly picked this out because there's a lot of things going on here. Think about this. You have a thought in your head. It's a sentence of words, just made by words. The words up here, the words up here make you feel something in your heart, make you feel something, either good or bad or empowered or sad or, excitement, hooray, interjection-y. And then based on how you think and feel, that ends up what you do with your hands. So just notice, everybody, pretend there is a line drawn down the middle of you, like you're folding a piece of paper. If you guys have coached with me before, I listen to these, I always go back to this kind of line down the middle. I don't know, sometimes, in alignment, all this kind of stuff that we could overplay. When you say to yourself, what is wrong? There is something wrong with me. How does that make you feel? It makes you feel like crap, doesn't it? There's something wrong with me. I am wrong. There's something wrong. I am broken. I am not normal. Whatever it is, makes you feel crappy. Don't feel crappy, because when you feel crappy, you do crappy. You don't, what I want to offer you on this one side of the unhelpful thought, there's something wrong with me. I feel like a loser. I'm not saying you do, but I'm just trying to find words. And then when I think lousy and I feel lousy, I do lousy. On the other hand, mix that stuff up. Get your body involved, do the frog, whatever. On the other side of that unhelpfulness is helpfulness, is a better thought, is a better feeling, is a better action. Love is over on this side. Fear is on this side. Curiosity, judgment. Notice the interplay, the opposites that go hopping over the fence. So I show up as your co-pilot. I show up to say to you, there is nothing wrong with you. I bet you just haven't learned how to declutter and how to maintain stuff in your home in a way that gets your place looking and feeling and functioning like you want it. It's something you can learn. That's why I'm here. I'm not about to be like, hey, I know, I'm going to tell you this thing, but you can't do it. Oh, my friends, it is so less difficult than you think. It is. And so you can learn this and you can practice it. And everybody, you've practiced. You have plenty of practice of being cluttered. You have habits that got you cluttered. You can practice other habits that keep you from being cluttered and stop you maintaining the clutter. All right? All right? Listen to me. All right? Okay. I'm going to take a sip of my tepid tea at this point. I see a lot of things here. I'm going to try to run through them. Okay. There we go. What do I do with my children's toys? Went through a divorce and kept some of their toys and papers. Okay, butterfly. Not knowing, and this goes to everybody. I'm going to use butterfly. I will use your question, but I'm going to expand it to reach more people. This is why, the group coaching type thing is good for a lot of people, but it will have relevance to you, but it's not going to be specific towards you. Okay, that's the one-on-one coaching. But what I will offer to everybody with children, no matter how old they are, they can be 5, they can be 35, they can be 55, whatever. If you are hanging on to stuff from their past, their history, their toys. Get curious why you're doing it. I get 2 thoughts. I'll share them with you because I coach people on this all the time. One of them is because you are thinking they may want this someday. They may want to be reminded of their childhood. Oh, look at this thing I made. It's like a Mother's Day card from whatever. Okay, that's a thought. That's a feeling. That's one of the reasons you have in your head why you're keeping it. That's cool. The other thing is too, is one of the feelings is I feel it reminds me, these things remind me of when they were that age, and they're not that age anymore because it reminds me of an earlier era. So notice if you are saving them for you, for them, or are you saving them for yourself? If your kids say they do not want those things, you know what? Maybe still ask them to hang out with you while you both go through them and, kind of, as we would say in my family, walk down memory lane. And then you might be more easy to release them, to not hang on to them. So you're not burdening that generation with clutter like you're burdened. Notice that. Also, maybe take some pictures of some of these things so you can, get rid of them. And it all depends, frankly, on you. What is the quantity of items you want to keep? It could be a small box. It could be a toy box. It could be a room full. It's totally up to you. The quantity is the one that's going to make you feel good about it. All right? Okay. What else do we have? Gigi Gina is excited for the Zoom. Awesome. I'm glad. The website, Bobby, I'm sorry, I'm catching up on things. DestinationDecluttered.com and then /join. Or even if you just go to that main main homepage, scroll all the way to the bottom, just scroll to the bottom. There's a big old form you can fill out to get on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. There's something else I was going to say about that too. Oh, just if you follow my TikTok page, and could you do me a favor? Could you just follow my TikTok page? I've been stuck at this one number for, I keep on thinking it should be changing. Is it broken? I don't know. But if you like what you hear and you want to go to more TikTok lives, I've got a few more coming up this week. Yep, I've got one there. Okay, I've got 2 more after this week. You'll be notified when I go live just by following my page. When you get on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, you will also be notified before everybody else as to when I'm showing up live. So that's another kind of cool reason to do that. Also, I will qualify it with when I do have my consultation calendar available for doing consultations. That's the people on the mailing list will get notified of that too, because I do one-on-one coaching with people through Zoom. I currently don't have any consultation slots available for this week. Next week, I'm not going to be around at all. I'm going off the digital grid. I will resume in October. So you will know if you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, you will be told when all the new stuff is happening. Okay, just want to offer that. Okay. What do we have? Whoa, so many things. All right, glad to help. Glad to help. Kind of backing up. Okay, I saved the items that they asked me to keep. American Girls, Lego, Brio, Hot Wheels, etc. are worth money. Okay, I would ask you this, user 1963, and you don't have to answer me, but here's the deal. How old are your kids? Who wants to make the money from that? Here's how I coach. You may like it, you may not. Here's how I roll, and I think it's really helpful, is decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering at the very core, and I'm always going to the core because everything else is just kind of, decoration, is decluttering is a way of thinking to say, do I want this thing in my life or not? And if I want it, where does it go? And if I don't want it, where does it go? Now, there's all sorts of ways, this do I want it or not? This is where we work to make this thing easier. Should I stay or should I go? But notice if you are, and I'm just throwing this out there, again, this is the vagaries of kind of a group coaching, and especially where I can't ask you, the questioning is a little time lapse. But I will say, for anybody here, do you have stuff in your home that doesn't even belong to you, but you've turned into like mom and dad's storage unit because some other people don't want to deal with, just don't want to deal with their own stuff? I don't know the answer to that, but what I will say is if the answer is yes, and you are not cool with that anymore, you're getting resentful about having their stuff in your home, let's do something about that. Let's teach them the habits of decluttering. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Boop. All right, I'm going backwards, I'm going forwards. Here we go. Okay, Luann 1990 TP. I am a small business owner and I have stacks of paper everywhere. I am overwhelmed. Oh, Luann, you see, here's a funny thing. Tax and clutter. I met with my tax person last week and I will share this with you because it was a revelation I had in the shower this morning just about me meeting her and talking about my business and decluttering and helping people and stuff like that. I swear to God, like the only paperwork I feel like we ever keep is for the tax people, is to prove what we do with our business or not, or, you know, and our clients and, but businessy things. I would ask you, just think about the stuff you're keeping and why you're keeping it. Do you need to keep it anymore? Are you keeping paper copies of stuff that may exist somewhere else electronically? What categories do you have of things? Notice these things. You know, I'm saving this because it's my client work. This is the stuff that I need to prove to my tax person that these are business deductions. I'm saving this because it's part of my continuing education. There we go. Just notice it. Callie Rose, with ADHD problems, do you recommend opened and clear bins or are totes with lids okay? Callie Rose, it's up to you. It really is. What I find a little bit more helpful, I'll be honest with you, are clear totes. Clear totes, and I just had a kind of tote that I bought for a while at Target, and I like things to be kind of matchy-matchy sometimes. It just looks nice when they're all lined up. I prefer a clear tote. I'll tell you why, because you can immediately look into it without even touching it and say, does that have clothing in it or does it have like Christmas ornaments? Notice that, but notice what works for you. And labels, if you don't have, here's the thing too, you guys, at this point, like I will rarely, unless I love a product so much that I am willing to hawk it for free, I will never encourage you to buy something in order to declutter. That's like the opposite. That's just another thing. You're thinking that the solution is to buy the right thing. That's capitalism doing its job. What I want to say is, if you use even a freaking like cardboard box, if you label it, you'll know what's in it. And then if you have some totes and they're not clear, you can put a label on it. You can find ways to go around it. But trust me when I say the answer isn't buying more stuff. It's reducing the number of items in your home, right? Here's a thing to think about. I love this. Remember Goldilocks and the Three Bears? There was Goldilocks, and forgetting the fact, again, she's kind of breaking into somebody's house, but there's 3 bowls of porridge there. One of them is too hot, according to her. One of them is too cold, according to her. And one of them is just right, according to her. But to Mama Bear and Baby Bear and Papa Bear, they all thought that that temperature was fine for them. So you need to find out what temperature is right for you. What your porridge, what your bed, what was it, chair, too, all of those things is right. What does that just right feeling feel like for you? Notice where I have my hands. I get my body involved in this because your body gives you clues about these things. Right here is like you're just enough. Like this is the perfect set point. I'm not in lack. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. It's just right. Clutter happens above this line. When you've gotten from maybe lack to just right and you blow past it incrementally without knowing it and you've got too much. Notice too much water. You feel I'm drowning. I can't breathe. I'm overwhelmed. I'm struggling. All that stuff because you're underwater. The fewer things you have, lower the amount of items you have. I swear to God, even just you guys, you move your hands like this. You take it from the overwhelm and you just move your hands slowly down like this. I am telling you, my body, my heart feels more relaxed when I do that. And your just right feeling is dependent on you. Okay? Hope that helps. I am looking, I'm trying to read. What do you do? What do you do when you plan to declutter something and when you find more clutter? Because you know what, PM 11208. That isn't it funny? It is. I found something in this closet back here that I didn't even know was there. I hid. Actually, it was kind of cool. It was a little thing with a couple of bucks in it. I had hidden on myself. Think of it as. Here's the thing. Think of decluttering as like a treasure hunt. Think of the cool stuff you could find. I am not kidding you when so many of my clients say, I found some money. I found a check I didn't cash. I found some gift cards. I found this thing that I've been looking for whatever, right? Christine is saying, boy, did I stumble into the right live. There are no mistakes in love, as Patty Smythe would say. No, you know what? It's your FYP, but I'm glad you're enjoying what you hear. Okay? Yes. All right. What do we have? Hopping up here because it's 12:36. I'm only here for the next 24 minutes in case we haven't met before. Hey, my name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. I'm a decluttering life coach. I typically work one-on-one with clients on Zoom, but I also do TikTok lives. I have an email mailing list if you want to sign up for that, destinationdecluttered.com. This Wednesday night, I'm just saying, we have a group Zoom call, which is really fun. You're invited if you're on the mailing list. Yeah. Okay. My adult kid moved out, leaving a ton of stuff. Help. All right. Ask me how, 5. Have a conversation with your adult kid. Ask them, what is this? Do you want it? If you want it, where are you putting it? If you don't want it, where are you putting it? Get them involved in it. Do not allow yourself to be a doormat or a dumping ground. If it bugs you, it's one thing. And trust me, notice that feeling. Honor your feeling. You'd be like, yeah, no big deal, whatever. Until you're like, no, big deal. Now, if it bugs you that they left all that stuff with you, it is an important part of becoming an adult to deal with your own stuff. It is a really good thing. Think of yourself, you're still a mama bird. You gotta, let those kids, you gotta make sure that they are good before they leave the nest. And allowing them to keep their stuff in the nest, I don't know if birds keep things in the nest, not really, but doesn't really help them with the brain thought, the thought process, the practicing of the thinking of what do I want in my life or not. There we go. See, Morgan is saying, I know I have gift cards buried in my room. Oh my gosh, go find them. You can be like a pirate for buried treasure. Know how you said, cards buried here? Arr, go find them, right? And then share the treasures you find. Yeah, as I said, I found like $60 that I had hidden on myself. I know clients have found a ton of things. It's really fun. Okay. German Made 95 says, unfortunately, can't do Wednesday night. No big deal. There'll be another one in October and in December and in January. And I might do some group coaching, but the people who are going to be the first to know about a group coaching thing are going to be the people on the email mailing list. Just saying. Charlie Brown. Or else, what do we have here? All right. Feeling right will be different. Yeah, Annie. Your feeling right is going to be different than others. You need to realize that is okay. Yes. Oh my gosh. So remember when I said previously a couple of catchphrases, a couple of little phrasersons that I want to introduce. Just think about introducing into your everyday vocabulary and see how much better it can make you feel is, I choose to believe that, ... I choose to believe that everything's going my way. I choose to believe that I am further ahead than I think I am. I choose to believe that I am important to consider before other people. I choose to believe that thing happened for a reason. I'm going to figure out why. That's one of them. But the other one kind of, that's like at the beginning of a sentence. Add on to a beginning of a sentence. See how that feels and changes things up and how you feel. Because I'm a life coach and this is what it's all about, is the life inside of you, not just the stuff you bought at Target or Woolworths or whatever. But on the other hand, and there's another thought too, or another thing that's like, this thing happened, or this thing is ... and that's okay. ... I love the ellipsis. ... and that's okay. I made a ton of money this weekend. And that's okay. I didn't make a ton of money this weekend. And that's okay. I have a lot of stuff in my house. And that's okay. I don't have a lot of stuff in my house. And that's okay. Just notice throwing that in there at the beginning and the end. When you feel different, when you think different, you feel different. When you feel different, you do different. I should say when you think differently, you feel differently. But you know what? I watched that Apple commercial back in the 80s, and here we are. Okay. I love it. Luann, 1990, spot on. She writes, I try and tackle one area at a time instead of looking at the big picture. Yes, the big picture, if you look at it and say, I have to do all of this, and notice how I'm moving back here so you can see, Joe also trying, you can see the road trip map thing I have ahead of me. That's like looking at the entire map of the US. I also have one right here because I have my clients as little happy faces on my map because this is how I roll, is looking at the entire map of the US. And when I'm here in Pennsylvania and I want to go to Palm Springs, California, even right now, do you notice my own body language kind of got heavy and slumpy, and it was like, wow, okay, that's going to take a while. That's going to take a while. But you know what? If you just look at one state by state to say, you know what, maybe I'll just try to get through Pennsylvania. How long will it take me to get from Pennsylvania to Ohio? It'll take me like a day. I'll drive. I'm going to drive at a pace that feels good to me. I'm going to allow myself some time to stop and look at the sights, to put some gas in my tank, to enjoy the drive. This is the thing. Do not, you guys, it is so much better on so many levels to think of life as a road trip, not a commute. A commute is what's the shortest amount of time I need to get from A to B because I don't want to be there and I just want to get it over with. You can do that, but it's not going to feel good that entire time you're in the car. Break it down into smaller chunks. Instead of looking at the whole picture, my whole house, pick one room. Room is too big, pick a corner of your room. And say, I'm going to focus here, and anywhere you focus and you spend time decluttering, no matter how small it is, you're making progress. You're making progress. Lather, rinse, repeat that stuff, and you'll be amazed at your results. Okay? You will be amazed. I know, did somebody catch my Woolworths? Yeah, I'm Gen X. So I realize I say a lot, like that's just something you bought at Target because like Target's the shop near me and we don't have a Kmart anymore. Maybe you'll just start saying Woolworths, and I will, that's a siren song to people of a certain age. It's so true. How to change being messy, says Baker Mama. Happy past, I need to clean the house, not his stuff, just life. Baker Mama, I will offer this to you and I will offer this to everybody, including myself. Habits. Habits. Your habits, the things you do without thinking. You just do them because they're habitual. You do them because you don't even think of it. Habits got you cluttered and messy. On the flip side, I'm always about the flip side, just like Davy Jones on the Brady Bunch, is on the flip side, your habits can set you free. You can create better habits. You can find your habit that got you cluttered. Get curious. Show up in curiosity and love on the flip side and say, how did that thing get there? Oh, that's right. When I came home, I dumped all that stuff in the Nook. Oh, and guess what? I have a habit of leaving it there for days on end as opposed to going back and just dealing with it. Oh, instead of that, noticing it and saying, instead of that, what's something else I could do? Put up your little traffic cop hand and say, stop. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to notice it when I stop it. And then I'm going to do something different that's getting me the result I want, which is to be less messy. Stop and it's like a traffic cop. Again, road trip analogy all over the place. You have a roadblock. There's roadblocks that stop you from going in the direction you want. Coaching will help you with that. But also put up your own roadblocks. Be your own traffic cop. When you see yourself going down the road, and you know that the end of that road is leading you to more clutter, stop yourself as soon as you realize it and redirect your traffic to another road that gets you to not cluttered. Start paving a road in your head, metaphorically, neurologically, that gets you from stopping and going down that neural pathway, that neural highway, and start to pave a new road that gets to your destination decluttered. There we go. Tammy, glad I could help. There we go. Okay, LBD, Jesus Lover, ADD maxed out for today. Okay, you know what? Take some time for yourself. Take some time until you feel better. When you feel better, you do better. Notice that. When you feel better, you do better. And sometimes feeling better means pulling over to the side of the road and allowing your gas tank to fill up. I say this, a perfect example, I'll share this with you from my own life, is what was it? Friday, I had a very busy beginning of the day, and then my sister came down from New England, and then we drove down to Maryland, and then Saturday we went and spent all day. She sells vintage items, and so I helped her the entire day, drove down there, set up, broke down, sold stuff. I drove home to PA. Then we did stuff yesterday morning to get her going. I was beat. I am a human being with a finite amount of energy, and every day I'm aging. So I said to myself, and here's the difference. I started saying to myself, oh, I should get up and do stuff. And it's like, no, you know what I should do? Is I should freaking relax and recuperate. I was exhausted. And so I allowed myself the opportunity to recuperate from all I had done. And I will tell you this. I did it, and I wasn't guilty about it. I did not shame myself. I enjoyed it. And then I went to bed and I slept really well. And when I got up this morning, I felt better. And when you feel better, you do better. But don't try to run on empty. No running on empty. Who's that? Jackson Brown? No running on empty. You can't run on empty. You will run yourself into the ground and your engine will seize and you will have so many more problems. Even just think of it as you as a machine. Just notice that, okay? Yeah, the Pyrexing. Yes, it was fun, and it was fun to look at stuff and realize that I love looking at it, but I don't need it in my life. It was also really fun, and I want to share this with you from a decluttering perspective. It was really fun to watch people delight in the things they were discovering. That feeling of discovery of things that they wanted in their lives. That's what we're going for, you know? Oh, nicey, why am I good at cleaning other people's places but terrible at decluttering mine? Easy peasy, and this is true for all of us, because we don't know the story behind why those things are there. It's quiet in our heads when we are dealing with somebody else's stuff. Boy, is it noisy when we're dealing with our own stuff. There's a standard, like a running commentary from the kids in the back seat. The kids in the back seat. Why do you have that? Oh my God, you're always so messy. You know what? You've never been cleaned. Why did you even buy that thing? Oh my gosh, that thing didn't work out. Oh my gosh, this is so heavy. Oh, all that running commentary. It's freaking exhausting, isn't it? That's when you put your traffic cop hand out and you say, shh, it's okay. We got this. Quieting down, decluttering your home, the way I coach for it anyway, also declutters your mind. It quiets down those less than helpful thoughts and feelings and allows you to move forward in the direction you want to go. There we go. Susan says, collecting Longaberger baskets has resulted in way too many. Notice, too many. For a while you had none, and then you got some, and it was kind of fun, and then you had a just right whatever, and then too many. Too many is from here above. It makes you feel drowny and overwhelmed. Just notice that and say to yourself, what number do I want? Now, here's the funny thing. The number to me is irrelevant. What I would say to you is, which ones are your favorites? Which ones do you like the best? Which ones do you use the most? And which ones are, the ones that you're like, oh, I love that one. Notice my body language. I'm going to do a TikTok video about this, or like a video. Notice your body. When you're interested in something, few things will probably happen. I see this to myself all over again. You lean forward. You get excited. You get a little bit of an excited feeling in your heart, like an energetic thing. You lean forward. You might go, ooh, look at that. Like, ooh, I like that one. Like, what's this? I am intrigued. Notice that feeling, that delight. Also notice the one that's the opposite. You're leaning back. Somebody's like, there's poop. There's something gross, right? I don't even like that. No, I don't even want that anymore. I'm so ready to get rid of it. I'm leaning back. I'm saying, don't. Notice that feeling. Ugh, I don't even want that anymore. Yuck. Get rid of it. Notice those two things. Get in touch with these things. And the middle is the yellow light. Ever been at a yellow light when you're driving along the highway? Or not the highway, like when they have traffic lights? Because this is what I call your internal traffic signals. The yellow light is when you're like, I don't know, should I stay or should I go? Should I step on the gas and go forward, or should I step on the brake? And in that kind of limbo is freaking exhausting. So the more you can decide what you like and what you don't like, the easier it is. That's what you decide. That's what you use to decide whether you want it or not. Notice that. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. There you go. Kat Roby says, just shredded notes I thought I needed but haven't looked at for 3 years. I'll trust myself instead. That is awesome. I love how you phrased that, and it is so true. Just notice that. Is trusting your own gut. Trusting your gut and just questioning the words in your head. When the unhelpful thoughts, when the thoughts come through your head, say to yourself, and I gotta put this, I keep on looking at it, but I keep on looking back here. There's a thing from an author. I did a TikTok on this because I saw a Seth Godin thing recently. Is this true? Is this necessary or useful? Is it compassionate or at least unharmful? Run your thoughts through that kind of processor. And if it is not true, unnecessary, not useful, not compassionate, harmful, quiet that down and rewrite. Go on to the other side and translate that into something more helpful, more loving, more useful. Just notice that. Because when you feel better, you do better. And here's the funny thing. I'm a certified life coach, but this applies to life coaching. It applies to pretty much everything. That's why I love starting with clutter, because it's the same process. When you learn this way of thinking with clutter in your home, with physical objects in your home, you will have gotten into the habit of thinking differently and acting differently. And that can have a positive ripple effect in your entire life. Okay? Just notice that. Just notice it. All right, what else do we have here that I can help? Teresa says, it took me all summer, but I am almost finished with the upstairs of my house. So good. Do you guys ever used to do this? A round of applause. A round of applause. Or like a Liz Lemon high five. A self high five. Go for there. Notice how good that feels. It took you all summer. That's okay. You are so much further along. The beginning of the summer. Everybody. Teresa, the beginning of the summer. Do you even remember what your upstairs looked and felt and looked like and you felt like? You may not if you didn't take before pictures, and that's okay. The human brain is always updating the files. It's like rewriting over the same file. So it doesn't want to, it often can't remember what it looked and felt like. You can say, yeah, it was kind of bad, but you don't really remember it because it just updates the files all the time. But do not underestimate the work you did and the results you're getting from it and the encouragement, because it's feeling better and better. It didn't happen in a day. No, it didn't. It took me all summer. I hope you were also enjoying your summer. That's what I get kind of life coachy with my clients. I am team you. I don't want you just doing this. I'm not just a declutterer. I'm a human. And what I realize is I don't want you to postpone the joy. I want you to incorporate the joy of life into every single day, as well as incorporating the decluttering. So you realize they're not mutually exclusive. And I hope you enjoyed your summer. And I'm so psyched that you are almost finished with the upstairs of your house, Teresa. That's cool. One thing I haven't mentioned yet on this TikTok live is, if you like what you're hearing, I do TikTok lives often. There's like a little schedule that's pinned to the top of my Destination Decluttered TikTok page. You can find out when I'm doing the next many. But if this is the first time you're just hearing from me too, what I have been told is that people love to listen to the recorded TikTok lives that I download from TikTok and I upload to Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. People put them on in the background as they're decluttering, as a little motivation and inspiration and little tips and tricks. If you have ADHD, body doubling, making yourself feeling like you're not alone with this. And the other thing is you could also listen to it like a podcast, because the screen rarely changes. I am very low production value because it's not about what you see. It's about what you hear and you think and how it changes how you're approaching your stuff. Okay? Just notice that. Here we go. Barbie is saying, half your life is in bed, half of my life is spent looking for stuff. All right, how would it feel if you didn't spend half your life looking for stuff? Wouldn't it feel so good if you knew exactly where things were, you could easily find it, you use it, it works well, and when you're done using it, you had an easy place to put it away? That seems like it would be awesome. There we go. Okay. Silver Fox 143. Okay, you brought up a really good point about our stuff, but also the stuff that we inherit from other people. The generations above us who didn't know how to deal with their stuff, so they didn't, is now going to be our stuff. If it's not, I'm just letting you all know. Looking ahead down the highway, because I'm always thinking of that road trip. We are here. That stuff is coming towards us, whether we want it or not. If our parents or our relatives don't want to change the way they think and feel and act about their stuff is going to be your responsibility. So the more you can practice decluttering your own stuff, the clearer you will get about, do I want any of their stuff in my home or not? Here's the funny thing. So Silver Fox, you're saying, have Antique Collector's mom stuff after she passed, and it's overwhelming, so I ignore it. Yeah, because you know why? It's stuff you're not digging. That's okay. Just because she loved it doesn't mean you have to love it. And on the flip side, just because you don't love her stuff doesn't mean you don't love her. But notice that you're not psyched to have her things in your home. Trust your gut about your home. And you want your home to look and feel like you want it to. My parents collected like old, colonial, brown, antique-y, New England-y, 1776-y, all that kind of stuff. Oh my God, I was so bored with that stuff. As a kid, I was like, meh, it's not my thing. Other people love it. My husband's in a band, and I was shocked to go to a fellow guitarist's house, and it's this historic house in New Jersey, and it looks gorgeous. It's this old, like 1776 place. It looks really cool. It's not my style at all, but it looks awesome. You do you. Figure out what's right with you. I will say this, if my parents collected mid-century modern things, I have a friend whose parents had a Saarinen chair and a tulip table and all that stuff. I would be getting that stuff in my house like nobody's business. So notice the fact, one of the things is their stuff doesn't do it for you. And as I said earlier, ... and that's okay. It's almost like, here's the funny thing. You could embroider them on two pillows. On one side of the couch is the beginning of the statement. I choose to believe that ... and then the end of it is, ... and that's okay. Just notice that. The overwhelm is just thinking of it too big, go a piece at a time. There we go. Coach Dillard Gordon is saying, I get overwhelmed and it's worse than it was before. How do I overcome that? Overcome the overwhelm by starting small and just working on small sections. Don't allow yourself. Don't say, I'm pulling everything out and I'm going to deal with everything. Oh, that's just going to get you, as you said, in a worse thing than before. However, I will tell everybody, because I've only got about 2.5 minutes now, and then I jump into an afternoon of one-on-one coaching and consultations, is, oh crap, what was it? There is a part of this process that temporarily, and here's another kind of, I got a wicked lot of, you can tell I'm from Boston, I got a wicked lot of mantras, all right? So I got a wicked lot of mantras, and one of them is, it will look, at times, it will look temporarily worse before it looks permanently better. So there is going to be a certain point when you're sorting your stuff that it's all over the place and it's going to look temporarily worse. But then when you sort and you decide what you want and you put things together, that's the permanently better. Okay? I love it. Barbie552 is saying, I don't want to leave it for my kids to deal with, so don't. Start now. Start now. I teach, here's the thing, I want to give like a little, just when I coach, I teach you practical advice. We of course talk about the stuff that keeps you stuck, which is your thoughts and your feelings, but we change that so you get moving. But when you're moving, I teach you repeatable processes that when you know how to declutter one area of a home, you use the same process to do another one and another one and another one. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay? Yeah, Kyle, this is my Boston accent, and I do this for effect because it cracks me up. Kyle Sparks is saying, break down into smaller pieces. There you go. Not Kyle Max, Kyle Sparks. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Hey, that's cool. Nurse Ellen says that she just hired a local organizer for decluttering in my home. We had a free in-person visit with ideas. That's awesome. I am so glad you are finding somebody that helps with you. I know people who do that. I know one person specifically up in Massachusetts who does that. I love that. I love that there are people out there who go into homes. I don't go into homes, but what I do allows me, because I only coach people on Zoom, it allows me to reach people from all over the country. So yay for you getting help with something you're struggling with. Okay, there we go. All right, that's where I am at the it looks worse. Okay, Barbie552, I will leave you this with. Yeah, how can you make it look better? Make some decisions about the stuff you want, figure out what a home for it, and then the stuff you don't want, how can you get it out of your house the easiest possible? Okay. Excellent. All right, friends, this was so much fun. Thank you for helping feel a little peace of mind as I'm on my road trip. Mama Rita. Oh, nice to see you. Yeah, I will see you later this week. There we go. Working on putting service pieces away after this weekend's holiday. I will just leave you with this. Every little bit helps. When you are heading in the right direction, just remember, every little bit helps, okay? Christine, thank you very much. Everybody, destinationdecluttered.com, sign up for the mailing list. I'll see you on a future TikTok Live, and you got this, okay? Now I'm going to go coach and consult.